the janitor with $8 million and the Harvard MBA who went broke. Morgan Housel explains why income was never the point. Think about the last paycheck that hit your account. For a few days you felt fine. Then somewhere around the middle of the month the number started sinking, and you couldn't quite say where it went. We tell ourselves the same story every time. When I earn more, this stops. When I get the raise, when I finally make real money, then I'll be calm around money. Morgan Housel, a former Wall Street Journal columnist who spent years studying how ordinary people actually behave with money, wrote an entire book proving that story is wrong. The book is The Psychology of Money. It has sold more than 10 million copies and been translated into over 60 languages. And the claim sitting at the center is the one your own budget is afraid to admit. If your relationship with money is broken, doubling your income will not fix the feeling that there is never enough. Part 1. The Janitor and the Broke MBA. Let me give you two true stories. A man named Ronald Reed spent his life doing ordinary work, pumping gas, then cleaning floors at a department store. He dressed plainly, lived quietly, and his neighbors assumed he was just getting by. When he died at 92, the people around him discovered he had left behind more than $8 million. Most of it went to the local library and hospital. Around the same time, a man named Richard Fuscone, Harvard MBA, Wall Street executive, million-dollar salary, mansion, elite circles, declared bankruptcy. Every property auctioned off. Buried under overspending and enormous debt, he ended up with nothing. Put those two lives side by side and you get a fable written for ordinary people. The gap was never about who earned more. The gap was entirely about who could keep it. Part 2. Saving needs no goal. Housel writes a line worth reading twice. The flexibility that wealth gives you depends on your savings rate, far more than on your income level. Think about it. One person brings home $3,000 a month and spends every cent, zero. Another brings home $1,500, spends $1,000, and keeps $500. On paper, the first earns far more. But the one who actually has room to breathe is the second. The distance between $3,000 and $1,500 is nothing compared to the distance between 0 and 500. Now here's a sharper point. A lot of people tell themselves, I don't earn much and I'm not saving for a car or a house, so saving can wait. Housel says saving does not need a specific target. Saving itself should be the goal, because life is full of things you didn't see coming. A bill you can't get past. A moment you want to buy flowers for someone you love. If you've kept nothing in reserve, those moments turn into shame. Accidents you could have met with calm become the last straw that breaks you. Never underestimate saving small, even $100 a month. The amount is not the point. The point is carving the habit into your bones. Set something aside before you spend. The day your income finally jumps, that habit becomes your strongest moat. After all, real security was always hiding in the money you had not yet spent. Part 3. Wealth is what you don't see. Then there's the topic that tricks almost everyone. You see someone in an expensive car, a watch worth hundreds of thousands, a vast apartment. Instinctively you think rich. Housel says this is the single biggest misunderstanding about money. There's a line that cuts straight through it. When you watch someone spend money, what you are watching is them giving up wealth. The moment that car is driven home, the money is gone. The watch on the wrist, savings evaporated. These things are the residue of spending, the trace left after money is spent, and they have nothing to do with real wealth. So what is wealth? It's the purchasing power you haven't spent yet. The quiet number in a bank account. The principal still growing inside an investment. The reserve you can call on when opportunity or crisis arrives. None of it can be seen, touched, or posted. And yet those invisible things are exactly the foundation of real freedom. The book describes a fascinating psychological experiment. When a beautiful car drives past, what's actually going through your mind? Most people aren't thinking about the driver at all. The image that flashes up is you in that driver's seat. The fancy car doesn't buy the owner genuine respect. It only activates the bystander's own hunger for status. If what we actually want is to be truly respected, then what we should invest in is our learning, our ability, our character. The distance between looking rich and being rich is, sometimes, exactly the distance between freedom and a cage. Part 4. Time is the only real edge. Now a question that makes a lot of people anxious. Look at your peers. Everyone seems to be making money already, and you feel stuck at the starting line. Did you begin too late? Housel uses Warren Buffett to crush that anxiety. Buffett is regarded as one of the greatest investors ever. But his annual return, while excellent, is not the highest in history. Plenty of investors have higher yearly rates. He has also backed plenty of losing projects along the way. He is no oracle. Yet measured by total wealth accumulated, almost no one comes close. The secret is 2 words: time. Buffett bought his first stock at 10 years old and never stopped. At 30, his net worth was about $1 million. At 50, $300 million. At 60, past $3 billion. By his 90s, over $100 billion. Now notice the staggering fact buried in those numbers. More than 90% of everything he ever accumulated came after he turned 60. If he had retired at 30 to enjoy life, the legendary investor the world knows today would never have existed. This is where compounding becomes terrifying. In the early years it crawls so slowly you want to quit. But once the timeline stretches long enough, that curve suddenly goes vertical. Buffett himself said, "Compounding is like rolling a snowball. The most important thing is finding wet snow and a long enough hill. Wet snow means you're pointed in the right direction. A long hill means you have enough time. If you have to pick the more important one, it's the length of the hill. So why do most people never taste the sweetness of compounding? Simple. They don't hold on long enough. The moment the market wobbles, they panic. The instant the account recovers, they rush to lock in gains. Over a few days, that looks clever. Over 20 years, what they gave up was the fattest part of the return. And this rule goes beyond investing. Learning a skill, building a career, tending a relationship, everything worth having follows the same rhythm. Heavy cost up front, little payoff, then the real transformation at the end. In the world of money, the rarest ability was never intelligence, never luck. It's the patience to stay steady through the long wait. Part 5. The most dangerous word. Enough. Finally, the deepest concept in the whole book, and the easiest to miss, knowing what is enough. There's a small story. 2 writers attended a private party hosted by a billionaire. One said to the other, envious, "Do you realize our host earns in a single day more than all the royalties of your mega bestseller combined?" The other smiled, perfectly calm, and answered, "But I have something he may never get. A sense of enough." That answer sounds light, but the weight behind it is enormous. So many people's incomes passed what life actually requires long ago. Yet their anxiety has not decreased one bit. The mark for enough keeps sliding forward. 1 million, then 5 million, then 10 million. Forever chasing a finish line that keeps retreating. Housel delivers a heavy warning. The truly dangerous thing is risking everything you already have, in pursuit of things you do not actually need. Some things, once lost, never come back. Health, trust, inner calm, and the one thing most precious of all, which no amount of money can price. Time you are free to spend as you choose. When the whole world is shouting, "Not enough yet," being able to say to yourself, "This is enough," is not surrender. It is a remarkably clear kind of courage. Closing. That's The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. What makes this book move people is not investing formulas or money tricks. It uses one true story after another to re-examine the relationship with money we've been ignoring for far too long. Saving is a habit. Spending is an attitude. And knowing when to tell yourself enough. That's real wisdom. The whole book is one long argument against never enough. And one quiet vote for drawing the line yourself. I'll leave you with a line from the book. The most expensive thing money can buy is the freedom to wake up and live each day exactly the way you choose. Now I want something specific from you in the comments. Name the one financial thing you've been chasing that you already have more than enough of, and tell me the line where you're going to finally say enough. Because this book is not really about money. It's about whether you get to decide where the line is.